Hi, my name is Alexander Ermenkov. Today is 16th of January 2023, and I'm continuing my series Daily Reality with Alex. As a lot of you know, it is very hard to work with reality because reality is always unpredictable and it is non-linear. Our mind is very easily going into predictions, and we are thinking that everything that we are expecting to happen is going to happen, but reality doesn't work like this. And this is why I have a passion and I have taken the identity of a ruling reality coach, where I'm mentoring and training people how to learn to interact with reality and how to not disappoint themselves from the feedback of reality. It is a very important issue because even if we know all the construct of reality, even if we know how everything works, still reality is always going to amaze us and things will never be according to plan and as expected. And that's why today I would like to speak about momentum, because once we realize the power of momentum, then we will never be disappointed of the feedback that is coming into our reality. Just imagine now that you are very motivated, that you are very strongly willing to perform, and that you're in a very high state and you just want to break through in life. What is happening after you are taking a specific decision, and it's very strongly now happening in January because we are in a new cycle of a new year and we want strongly to go into something new. We have put all our goals and then we are really desiring an outcome. And motivation is fed from a feedback from reality where everything is going according to plan. The first day you have progress, the second day you have progress, the third day you have a little bit less progress, but still progress. Until we have progress, we are feeding the motivation. Until we are seeing with the five senses the feedback that everything that with our intent we are putting into reality is happening, it is a funny thing and we are very strongly satisfied from ourselves. But the problem with reality is that it never works linear, and this is very strongly confusing sometimes people, that they are thinking that progress is also linear. If we think that we will progress every day and this is going to happen till the end of our life, once we have taken the decisions, once we know everything, it is an illusion and it never happens in reality. And as a ruling reality coach, I'm approximately here to help you break away from a lot of the illusions and the predictions of the mind and the delusions that all of us are already in, and bringing us into the reality as it is. I know a lot of us would like to experience different reality than what reality is. A lot of us are dreaming and living in imaginational worlds that are in this association with our own personal realities. But then if we understand the magic of how reality works and how momentum works, we are not going to give up ever about whatever we have decided that we are going to perform or to manifest or to be or to become in reality. Because of course, the big statement is that we already are everything that we are seeking for or wishing to be. Then what's the problem? The problem is that once we are forwarding our intent into the reality, some things start to happen and they're not happening according to our plans. And that's why usually The first step is that people are not willing to speak about their plans. They are not willing to fix in the physical material reality steps they are committing to make. We are not willing as human beings to commit and to engage and to share with others our internal being, because then the anticipation of failing and the fear of failing is rising up inside of us. But if we are not able to go through this, to understand that failure is part of the game, that nobody is going to judge us, because if someone else is willing to judge us, he should be 100% winner. And they are never 100% winners. Even the big success people that we have as role models are winning not more than 20% of the time. All the other time, they're just striving, they're trying, they're adapting, they're losing till they win. So when we are calculating our own progress, we are to understand that we can start the progress and we can enjoy the first 1-2 weeks of enthusiasm when everything becomes and is happening easy. But then how are we long-term to fuel this motivation and enthusiasm, since reality is going to start giving us a difficult and more different feedback? It is like playing in games. We're strongly willing to play only the easy levels. But once you start a flow, first in the beginning, reality is giving us the easy levels. So we see that we are performing, we see that we are confident, we see that we are capable, and little by little, the levels are becoming more difficult. And then what is happening? A lot of people are stacking into limitations, into ceilings, and are stopping. What personally I'm doing, I'm using the power of momentum. In the moment, I'm stuck maybe from the summer, but especially from September, into one of my biggest intents and flows. And though I'm even retreating and my progress is negative, I'm not stopping my intention. And though even my intention is receiving opposite results of what is my intent, I'm not stopping to pushing forward, though the reality is giving me the feedback of me going backwards. And I will give you the simple example, because a lot of us are willing to, maybe 50 or 60% of the human population in January is willing to reduce their weight. And since I was very strongly involved into weight reducing the last 2 years, I thought that it is always going to be easy, and so on and so on. And from the summer forward, I started going back, and I was something like 102 kilograms in the summer. In the moment, I'm 118 kilograms. So I have retreated quite much for several months, especially September. And from there going forward, I was retreating and retreating. Then I started to experience fears that maybe I have lost my powers. I don't understand anymore how to influence reality, though I know that from the inner being, we are influencing reality, and we already are what we seek and what we have put as our identity. And in my case, I have put an identity of a 90 kilogram person, and in the moment I'm quite away and deviating from this. But what is happening with me when I'm visiting these kilograms now, and when it's very hard to come back to where I want long-term to be, what is happening is that instead of being very strongly into frustration only, because there is frustration inside of me, I'm becoming more and more thankful for this hard period through which I'm going into this specific area. And meanwhile, I'm understanding one thing. I see that I don't give up. I see that long term, I'm drawn from this identity vortex, and my being from the inside is not going to allow the physical matter reality to move forward and I to go back from where is my anchor. So when we put intent and when we speak loudly in reality with our friends, what is our long-term goal? In this way, you put an anchor in the future of reality. Then, when you start coming back, a fear starts to come that you are not good enough, that maybe you are not going to succeed. But if we are not giving up long term, this vortex is going to draw us back into where we are supposed to be. Your body is listening, your mind is listening, because your intent is unshakable. If your intent is unshakable, yes, of course, daily reality is a reflection of who you are in the moment. But then when you start adapting, when you start transforming, when you see new shadow things inside of you that are drawing us or drawing me to this backwards retreat, we are starting to get more and more awareness that maybe we've missed something the first time. So never underestimate when you have a tango dance reality. If you go 1 or 2 steps forwards and 1 step backwards, it is still a progress. If you go 1 step forward and 3 steps backwards, it is not a progress. But if the vector of the movement in your reality is put towards a specific goal, and if you don't move from this point of reality where you want long-term to go, you are going again to build a momentum, and it is not because you have will. Actually, the most weak you feel once you feel that there is no more motivation inside of you, that there is nothing else that you can hold towards, but that you are strongly wanting to see this reality that you have decided, then the momentum is going to kick back and help you move forward through the processes. And this is what I'm experiencing maybe the last 6 months, and especially the last 2 and 3 months, that I'm seeing that I think in my mind that I'm not winning, but we never know what we are gaining when we are losing. So what I realized is that when we are pushing forward, we are creating a momentum, and it's not necessary always things to happen through our own personal force and in our own personal way. In reality, reality is non-linear, and everything that was successful for us 1 month ago or 1 year ago or 2 years ago cannot work for us today. And we are to always find new ways, and we are always to see and to look and to explore. But if we are committed to the end goal, and if we have already put this anchor, it doesn't matter how much we are drifting, we still have our anchor into the reality. And the beautiful thing about momentum is that when we are not stopping pushing, we are not moving directly, for example, towards the end goal, but we are moving other things that are long-term going to help our movement forward. And this is why whatever is the situation that I'm facing in the physical matter reality, and if sometimes things are not happening according to plan, and this is maybe 80 to 90% of the times. For example, in my work, we were not able the last year and a half to sign a lot of new contracts for a lot of new projects and so on and so on. But we were not stopping. We were continuing searching. We were continuing talking with the people and so on. And we were stuck, and nothing was moving forward into some specific areas. But later on, and especially in the last 2-3 months, we are starting to feeling the momentum. And just in the end of January, we are going to sign maybe at least 2 to 5 new projects that are just opening up for us. So we are knocking, and the door is going to open anyhow, because it is part of our process towards a fixed reality. That's why this is one of the reasons I'm never stopping, because even if I feel that there is not a direct influence into the reality, and I cannot visibly see progress, as for example, in the beginning, when you are very enthusiastic and you are very strongly willing to go forward, still, if we are not stopping, we are going to move towards the end goal. And this was very powerful for me, because I was thinking that I'm the one that need to move the end target. But if I move something different, maybe this different thing is going to unlock something different that is going to move this end target. So my personal goal is always to do only my next step, to know that I'm nourishing the urge, to know that I'm moving forward. And I know a lot of people are saying, well, Alex, once you see that something is not starting to happen, just say, no, maybe it is not meant to be. Maybe you've got it wrong. Maybe, Alex, you need to find another identity, or just try something else. But if you are used to this, you will never be able to be piercing and to be fixing in reality, because you will always be giving up into the beginning. And since I'm a person that don't give up, but I don't give up just because I want to show off, I'm just doing it because I'm exploring what is going to happen if I'm not giving up. So in a sense, there is a stubbornness, but also I'm 100% open for different type of solutions, but still I'm fixed on the end goal. And of course, there are a lot of other beautiful things that were able to open up for myself in my own personal reality as flows. And also, there are other unexpected things that moved towards me. We usually, the human beings, are calling them grace or beneficial things or luck, but luck is just coming and attracted towards the ones that are fixated and are not stopping towards their goal, because then a lot of other things are moving together with the flow and are starting to support us. That's why I enjoy working with the momentum. And I know a lot of people don't like the word trying. Alex, stop trying. Just, or you do it, or if you cannot do it, you just stop trying. But if we stop trying, we were never going to have electricity today. If we stop trying, we are not going to have so many wonderful things that only happen because there are people that decided that they will never stop trying till they don't open this end goal into their reality. And once there are no options for us to not moving towards the goal, then it's not possible the goal not to move towards us. So it is like what Mohammed said, that if I cannot move towards the mountain, or I cannot go to the mountain is going to come to me. So I don't know how everything is happening in reality, but if we are not stopping and if we are moving forward, we don't know what exactly we are moving. We think that we are moving specific things that we are calling progress. But maybe there are other parts that are connected with our end goal that we are moving and we are not spotting in the moment, that are helping us to create this end goal. For example, when I was retreating from my weight, I started to observe and to acknowledge that I like, for example, to not go into suffering in my physical body. I don't want my physical body to experience emotions that are unpleasant, and everyone's body love pleasures. But if we are learning to delay instant gratification in order to achieve something which is much more precious, maybe not for the body, but it is precious for this intent, it is precious for the inner being, it is precious. And by the reason why we understand why this specific thing is precious, for example, and there are things that are not connected with feelings, but they are still precious. So in a sense, I'm enjoying now my reality. I enjoy that every day, even if I don't see the progress, even if I am retreating, whatever is the feedback of reality giving me, if I know that my inner being is not moving from its course and direction, long-term reality is going to be influenced towards the direction I'm moving, because we are moving into the reality of the effects, not with our outer being, because intention is nothing physical, but with our inner being, will and power. And our will power is growing with more and more awareness we are gathering. If you have and listen to a lot of books about the sport people and motivational type of books, you are going to understand that one of the biggest things that is motivating the big winners is that they very well remember their states of their bigger losses. They know exactly the moment when they felt down the most, how are they feeling, and they just locked this feeling in their reality, and they create it away from value. They already know this experience, they understand why they're failing, and they never are willing to experience this again, and they're moving forward towards something beautiful. There is a positive and a negative in this type of using fear and away from experiences, because of course we are to be grateful for everything that we're experiencing. First, we are to deal with this type of experience, to open ourselves, to understand that the feedback that we are receiving, even if it's the most negative, even if it's the most failing one for us, if we know that our precious value and essence doesn't depend upon the outer reality appearances of anything, because anyhow all of us are dealing with the limitations will never stop to exist, but once we are the one that are choosing the limitations we are willing to experience in reality, then we are positioned as rulers of our own reality. Then we are trained so much how to use our intent, how to work with reality, how to train ourselves, and to know when exactly reality is allowing us something. And this is happening in business, this is happening in politics, this is happening in every area of reality. And the people who know how reality works. They're trying once, it is not happening. They're trying twice, it is happening a little bit more. Then after 1 or 2 or 3 months, they're trying again, but they're not stopping till in the end, this specific thing is not open for them, or they don't adapt in such a way that long term it is going to be revealed for them because they are not stopping. So all of the type of motivational speakers or this subconscious thing that is inside of us that is saying us, stop trying. We were not able to start walking if we stopped trying. I will never stop trying to do things that I'm not capable of doing in the moment. It is part of how we as human beings are creating shifts. So according to me, and this is what I'm encouraging everyone, yes, we can regret, yes, we can complain, yes, we can go into many different type of adaptation, but the one thing we are to never stop doing is to stop trying, using our intent, and to stop moving towards the anchors in reality that we have created and the flows and the direction towards which we are going. And that's why I'm boldly proclaiming all of my flows and all of my impossible goals, and I'm sharing them with everyone, and I'm opening myself towards being in the moment of when I'm deciding that something is going to happen. For example, this is the situation with my fixed reality about 100 houses in 2030. And I can envision and I can imagine how in 2030, I'm totally failure and I don't have 10 houses, but let's say I have 30 houses or 50 houses, or I have zero houses then. Still, I'm going to move forward to this place in time. But why? Oh, I'm confident towards what I'm going, and I'm doing my daily, weekly, monthly steps. Reality, you can feel and you can see when reality is opening towards your flows and when reality is supporting you and is not against you in principle. Yes, but Alex, it is so much more easy just everything to happen without tension, just everything to not require something from me. In reality, everything is transactional. We have sometimes such big goals, but we are not willing to transact what is necessary in order these goals to be achieved. For example, if I decide now to learn piano and to go into piano lessons, I need to give maybe approximately 20,000 euros for private teachers, to buy my piano, to have and spend more time, to put more attention, and to start learning. Can I do it? Yes. Can you do it? Yes. But it is taking a transactional value from us in order something to become part of our reality. And I have put a very strong and big transactional values towards my long-term goals, but by creating these flows, my being is transformed daily towards becoming worthy of the goal that I'm willing to experience in the future of my reality. And what is usually happening, and I found it even in the sport world, that when the people are so strongly involved into trying, into training, into preparing, into moving towards their goal, once they experience their moments of glory, of manifestation, yes, they're happy, but it is just a moment. It is so small parts of our time in the future, and we are sacrificing so much during the other periods about this specific moment where we want to experience it. And then a lot of people are saying, well, Alex, but then why should I try? Why don't I go easy in life? Why should I invest myself into some small moments that I want to experience in the future? Because these small moments are going to define the being that you are going to express in this specific moment. That's why I'm enjoying that by fixing specific goals in reality, by creating momentums, by not stopping, I'm actually creating also a transformational inner flows that are changing me into adapting the being that I am worthy of having this specific goal. And not that we already are not, but since in any moment reality is giving us a feedback of what we are expressing in the moment, it is good just to know what we are expressing in the moment, but also to know our direction of our next expressions. That's why I'm not using future self, I'm not using perfect self, I'm not using such type of labels, because all the time the self is the same. The only thing that has changed in this limitless self is that it is able and allowed to express more of itself during all these periods. So thank you for watching today. Enjoy building momentums, and it doesn't matter if there is progress or not. If we are not stopping, if we are moving forward, though it looks like that it is coming backwards, if we are not stopping, if we are doing something towards our goal, it means that momentums are going to shift even other things that which we are expecting, and these other blocks are going to move what we are not able to move alone. So thank you for watching. Enjoy raw reality. It is not easy, but of course it is wonderful to have and enjoy the life that we are supposed to have. Bye-bye, and have a nice reality experiences.